Hi and welcome to Edge of Play's New Coach Starter Pack Chapter 1 Part 2. Chapter 1's all around the admin, really, to do with setting up your own club. In Part 1 we looked at setting up your club. In this video, Part 2, we'll look at the club Ethos. Part 3 is about finding players, and Part 4, creating a committee. So here we are in Part 2 then, looking at the club Ethos. By ethos, I mean the characteristic spirit you have behind the club, the set of beliefs that are going to drive the club forward and take it into the future. It's very much about the character you want your club to have. The first aspect of this, I'd say, is important, is establishing the club colours. That's quite a superficial thing, to be honest, and kits will change over time. Having a set colour which you can associate with your team can be a positive because it's just part of creating that identity. But I think a key one is the badge or the crest. That's something that in theory will stick with the club for the whole time of its existence. So my club that I formed, Govan Athletic, this is our badge. Just thought I'd give you a brief explanation behind the badge, because a badge can have quite a lot of meaning or can represent something about the club. We managed to redesign our own badge, one of our club members did that for us, and the main thing I wanted on there in terms of identity for the club were the two ships. So Govan is a place in Glasgow, that's where Sir Alex Ferguson was from, and that's what inspired me to create the club. So I went with the two ships because you've got the shipbuilding industry in Govan by one of the ships, and then the other ship representing the Manchester Ship Canal. So between those two ships you're representing two cities, and that's kind of stuck, and that's something that now the players are aware of as well. So do have a think with your badge for your club, what do you want on there, what's it going to represent and why. Now this next one, a mission statement, that's something you'd often have for a business. But I want you to think of this in terms of the idea behind the club. Where are you going? What's the plan behind this club? Why are you setting it up? Is it because you believe there's something missing in the area you're in, that you're setting the club up in, that people need? So is it that you want to provide excellent developmental coaching? So your mission statement might be to do with bringing on the development of players in the local area, fostering a love of sport, those kind of things. It's for a junior team. For Govan, it was all about getting a club formed. We went into a pub league at first, then we tried to work it up, we got into a stronger league, and then we went from there into another stronger league, and now we're trying to get the club moving upwards to the very, very top of the amateur game, and eventually try and get it into semi-pro. So you should have your vision in mind. That was in my mind back in 2001. That was said by me in the initial stages of the club. I remember saying at the first presentation evening where I wanted the club to go. So have a good think. What is the bigger picture for your club? Now that might be just something you just jot down for now, but you being aware of it really, really helps. It's dead important, because if you don't believe in it, then why would anyone else? It could be to do with enriching lives, helping people use exercise for their mental health, something. What is your reason for doing this? Think about that. What's the mission of the club? Where are you going to? And that links to that bigger picture. In the first stages, it's just about getting up and running, trying to survive, get a team on the pitch, get people training, get them in a kit, and just get everything going. And then your next goal might be to get out of that division, and then it might be about just holding your own there. And after that you might look up again, and then you might be about, can we get to this league? So have a think now, over the next 5, 10, even beyond that years, where would you like your club to get to? What's the bigger picture? Now the bigger picture is not something that you day in day out are going to be able to get near to. It's something that you gradually get towards, that you're working towards. The day in, day out thing might be things like improving someone's ball control, using the weaker foot. It can be something as kind of specific as that. But the bigger picture is why we're doing this. Why do you want Johnny to be better on his weaker foot? And it's all about improving the quality across the board. Maybe you're hoping that eventually, part of your plan might be to have players that are equally comfy on both feet, and you want the whole team to be comfortable in possession of the ball, no matter what position they are, playing no fear football. That could be part of your mission statement. So the bigger picture can link into that too. Don't be afraid that that's where you're aiming for. Some will laugh at you. They do. People always do. They don't have any plans of their own. They will laugh and put down that idea. But be bold, be brave, be exciting about it. Think big. Where can you take your club? Where could you possibly get to? And then from day one, you're taking small steps to get there, all the way through. So have a good think about that, your mission statement and the bigger picture behind the club. Club rules. Sounds quite a dour topic, that. It's so important. If you want to form your club and make it the best it can be, You want people to come in and get on board with all the positive sides of it, like this mission statement idea and being proud of that badge on their chest. Rules have to back that up. You need a kind of understanding between everyone at the club, what's expected of them, what is not acceptable. So for example, when I formed Govern, a big part of that for me was I wanted a club that could train regularly and treat the amateur game seriously. So my rules had to reflect that. So players are expected to train. If they don't attend training, there's a consequence to that. And if they don't get in touch about attending training, then they won't be at the club for very long, because that would break the club rules. So establishing your rules before people come into the club means they're joining that on the understanding these are the rules. If you try and bring in rules after everyone's already involved, then you can have problems and people might not take them seriously. And you can have these kind of conflicts if you don't get in those ideas early, so people know what they're joining. So do have a good think about these things. The club rules, think about what it is that makes a club well run for you personally. What is it that bugs you in a team that's not well run? And try and have rules that kind of address that and prepare you for it. Like I say, for me that was training, making sure that people took training seriously, took keeping in touch seriously. If you're a junior club, those rules can be a comfort blanket really. They can help people know their boundaries and know where they stand with you, and if they're clearly established and everyone knows what they are, the rules, it's actually it can actually give more security to the club because everybody knows where they stand. And then we have club ethics and core values. These definitely tie into that bigger picture. How are you going to get there? Which ethics do you expect everyone to adhere to? What are the core values behind the club? So this can be working hard. It can be recognising the importance of the team over the individual. It can be being honest with each other, being punctual, being well prepared. These are all aspects that are important in the individuals to make the whole stronger. So have a good think, jot them down. Just might be on a bit of scrap paper for now, but have a good think. What are the key ethics do you want everyone to adhere to? Now, in terms of getting this ethos across, it's not as simple as just writing it down and passing it out to everyone in a handout. The ethos is something that's soaked up gradually over time, and that more and more people join the club, they buy into that culture. If it's working well and if you're delivering it in a positive way. So over time, people then join that culture and they mirror and copy that culture that you've set up. That takes time. You have to battle with a few people. Some people will not want to buy into the way you want to do it, and you have some big decisions to make then about what comes first. Your drive towards your bigger picture and the ethics that you believe in, or letting somebody else kind of water that down or take it in a new direction. That could be the right thing. Just have a good think. Where do you want this club to go? How do you want people that are at this club to behave and represent the club? I loved doing this part of it. When I was planning to set up the club, Govern, I loved all this part of it. Just thinking all the things you could kind of create and build up. And I found it really exciting, this planning phase, and thinking about what the ethos of the club would be. It was looking at other clubs which I did not enjoy the way they ran themselves, that I'd played against, that I'd played with as well. That kind of gave me the motivation to really get these things in place before the club even started. Before session one, a lot of plans were in place, how training would be, how players that join the club would be expected to behave, and what they could expect in return from the club as a service. So I want you to have a good think, get all these things together, enjoy crafting it. What's your club going to be? What identity will it have? What's your bigger picture? Where are you going with this thing? It's a start of an adventure, it really is. That sounds cheesy, but it absolutely is. And like I say, don't worry about the people that laugh at you for it, for caring, for being passionate about your club and setting it up and getting things right. Enjoy all that. If you do it well, it will last for a long time. If you do it really well, the club will then last beyond you, and all your ideas will be taken on, and it becomes something that everyone else identifies with. It's not just your thing, it becomes ours, this feeling. It's a fantastic thing to set up and get everyone buying into and enjoying. So good luck with it. The next video is looking at how you can find players to join this now. Now you've got this up and running, you've got your ideas and you've set up the basics, done the practical work. Now it's time to attract the players. We'll look at that in the next video.